Sorry. All right, we're joined by Northwest Missouri head coach Rich Wright, senior running back Jordan Grove, and senior safety Edward Richey. We'll start with an opening statement from Coach.
Thanks. It's great to be here at the 2017 Media Day. This is my first time here, but always, as a staff, it's kind of one of those landmark days that signifies the start of the football season. I'm proud to be flanked by two outstanding young men, as well as the rest of our captains here in the front row. But having Jordan Grove and Eddie Richey up here with me are two guys that basically personify what being a Bearcat is all about. They're great people and great leaders, and I'm looking forward to seeing their stamp on things moving forward. Talk a little bit about kind of the transition and the things that we had. Winter and spring obviously marked a transition with our football program. With the departure of Coach Dorrell, there were some changes on the staff and shuffling of responsibilities. But having as many guys, stay with me on staff at Northwest really, created some continuity and stability that was definitely needed. We graduated an outstanding senior class. We graduated a group of men that were 55-2 over a 4-year time span and won 3 national championships. And then finally, a culminative effect a little bit is going into our spring practices, we had a lot of guys out. We had, that senior class making that run had played in 57 football games. And so we had a lot of kids that had played a lot of playoff games and had injuries that we had to take care of. So we were young. We went out in the spring and we played and tried to develop depth. But a lot of the pieces that we have moving forward were guys that had to stand on the sideline. And what was really impressive about that to me was the leadership and vocalness and willing to help that we got from that group of men. And it really kind of started our process off on a good note. At Northwest, I think the thing that our kids do well is they focus on what they can control. And, the high energy and intensity was a big piece of what we had in the spring practices. The other thing we try to do, and we talk a lot about it as an organization, is the care. Getting to know your teammates. And this group of seniors did as good a job as any I've been around of embracing our underclassmen who we were going to need moving forward. Kind of takes us through the spring and then into the summer. We had 97 kids stay in Maryville, Missouri and go through summer workouts. And I just got done. We finished up summer with those guys going out to Mazingo Lake, which for us is the hill. And they run the dam at Mazingo with our strength and conditioning coaches. And 31 times they went up and down that hill. And, I got back to the pool, which is where they go afterwards, and talked to them about it. And, our head strength coach, Joe Quinlan, who's been there a long time, said it was as impressive of a group collectively over a summer as any he's seen. And to me, that says something. I think that something that really resonated with me as I look out my window every single day into Bearcat Stadium was our kids' willingness to go out and put in work, to go out doing one-on-one skill drills, 7-on-7, led by players, little things, details. It was fun. I mean, I don't think there was a time of day where I didn't see one of our players out there doing something to try and get better as a football player. I felt like we did a great job in the community. Coach Quinlan kind of spearheads that for us, but we went out and logged 250 hours in our community in Maryville, Missouri, because those people are the backbone of what we represent. And they do a phenomenal job supporting us, so we try and go out and support them. 2017, what's our outlook and where are we going? We have 21 seniors, 6 starters on defense and 4 on offense. We lost a lot of experience in leadership, and fall camp will be really vital for us to kind of put the pieces back together. I kind of feel like a little kid, and I'm finally going to get back into my toy box. I can pull out all those pieces and kind of start to see how they fit. It's every season is a puzzle, and it's never the same. And the pieces are never the same. And so what we've got to do collectively together through the month of August is figure out who we are as a program, who our leaders are going to be, who our playmakers are going to be, and then get ready to roll quickly because we've got Emporia State coming into Maryville, Missouri on the 31st, and it should be a whale of a football game. My immediate goals for this football program is to play with energy and passion. We're gonna play hard. We're gonna try and out effort our opponents. Is to be physical on all levels, but particularly on the offensive and defensive line. Is to run the football and stop the run, because I truly believe ultimately if you're going to win in November and December in the Midwest, you better be able to do that. Is to stay in an attack mode. One thing I think our kids do a great job of at Northwest is, they all have, and I was just asked outside, I think, they do have a chip on their shoulder because they understand we're not protecting anything. What's happened in the past is in the past. In order for us to be successful, I think you have to be in an attack mode, and I think that's a little bit of why our senior class chose to use the word attack now, or live in the moment, is our mantra for the season. Strive to improve every single day, and that's something our kids have done a tremendous job through the summer, and I hope it continues in the fall. And then ultimately ask your question, are we creating value in everything we do? If we do those things, I think we're going to have an opportunity to be a good football team.
All right, we'll start with questions for players. So hands up if you have questions for players.
Isaiah from the St. Joseph News Press. Grove, this is for you. How do you feel? You've been back here a couple of times on Media Day. What does it feel like to have the ring on your finger and less than a month away from the season?
It's a blessing to play for a great program like Northwest, where we have the opportunity to play for a national championship and contend for that every year. And we're excited to get back in the swing of things and get into camp here come Sunday.
This is along some of the same lines. If each of the players could reflect on stepping into the stadium and seeing it greener as opposed to white last December.
Go for it, Eddie.
Yeah, we probably would have loved to see the field not covered in snow last year, but that's just the mentality that we built on. If it's got a football and we step in between any white lines, we ready to give it our all. So it's still a beautiful stadium though out there right now.
You guys are obviously going through the transition with new coach, not new, but at least changing roles. How do you make sure that when Emporia State comes around, you guys are just ready to go? And obviously that's a big game to start the season.
This coaching staff hasn't taken a day off since Coach Wright took over back in December. Is that the technical date? I don't even know. Yeah. But
it was here.
We knew right away. I don't know when the media technically did, but these guys have been working their tails off and getting us ready to get ready for this first game. And I know our players as well have been in Maryville all summer working together, and we're going to get ready for that first game.
More questions for players?
Jordan, can you kind of give us an idea what it's been like having a new coach in Rich Wright and just what he's done? Just been told that he loves his players and he cares for his players. Can you just talk about that?
As a senior, we have always have senior meetings every week, and we meet with Coach Wright, and it's been great learning to be a leader under him because he's such a great leader himself, and the lessons he teaches us and how to coach the younger players and lead them. It's been a cool experience to learn under him.
Eddie, talk a little bit about, you've played here. You've got that experience that maybe the rest of the guys don't. Talk about, what the atmosphere is like to play in a national championship game here.
It's great, but we do a lot of steps to get us to this point in the season. So we take a lot of pride in the way our preparation for each and every game. We just go out each and every week and just try and be better than we were the last week to get us to this type of great atmosphere and this type of big game. That's what we signed up to play at Northwest for.
Jordan, talk a little bit about replacing a quarterback. It's happened at Northwest before. It's really never been an issue. But talk about, just teaching a new guy that's got to come in.
I think our older guys in general do a great job of teaching the young guys, helping them come up along, because as an older player, you want the young guys to succeed. You want the tradition to keep going. So we all pull the young guys along and teach them as they come in. So I think we do a great job teaching our young guys to learn the system, and then so they're ready to take over when it's their turn. And the past 3 years, we've had a new quarterback every year, and each guy's stepped up and done their job, and I believe they will again this year.
Jesse McWilliam, KQ2 in St. Joe. Coach, this is kind of, well, for all three of you guys, but in particular, Coach, I asked you after the spring game, how the quarterback battle was shaping up. Now that you guys have gone through summer workouts and everything, can you give us a little bit more insight of what you've seen out of the quarterback position so far? Or?
I really can't. And Jonathan Baker, who's a phenomenal leader and sitting in the front row, and one of our captains is sitting right here. And my honest to goodness answer is that I don't know. We're going to let it play out through the fall camp and make decisions moving forward. I just know that both kids deserve that opportunity. I'm not a big proponent of the last time they had pads on and got to perform was the spring, and so there's nothing that really over the course of the summer that would probably hedge, my opinion one way or the other. So I think that both have deserved the opportunity to show what they can do moving forward in the fall when all the pieces are put back together.
And then any of the players want to contribute to that?
From an offensive standpoint, we do 7-on-7 all summer long, twice a week, and both guys have been competing. Both guys have been playing really well, and I think everyone on our team believes in either the guy that gets the spot or if it's both of them.
Yeah, just to piggyback on what Grove said, I'm a defensive guy, so I really don't like them that much until we play somebody else. But both of them have been tremendous leaders from us, not only on the football field, but I know from our running to us lifting weights, both guys have been stepping up and being leaders. And I think our team is blessed to have the opportunity to have two guys be able to be a starting quarterback. And if one of them guys wasn't here, they'd probably be the starting quarterback on any other team, because that's just the type of character and the leadership that they bring. And it's going to be fun to see those two guys compete this fall.
Any more questions for players or coaches? Right back here.
This is for Coach. Football was on the front end of the bookend of NCAA history with football and basketball national championships. Can you reflect on that?
Yeah, I think it was a really special time on our campus, and it was fun to watch our basketball program make the run that they made. Coach McCullum and myself are pretty good friends, and it was just neat to see those guys kind of kick through that door. They've been right on the cusp of that for several seasons now, and to watch them finally break through and win it was special. One of the things that we, I think, as a program took a little bit of exception to early was everybody tried to lump us together, and we had an opportunity to celebrate our moment. That was back in December. What I thought was really appropriate was that the basketball team got to be celebrated, not so much the back-to-back, but just the accomplishment that they had achieved.
Coach, can you talk about you probably been asked a lot about your defense this year. How have you reloaded going into this 2017 year?
Honestly, the thing that we try and approach is that, and in my senior meeting last week, what we talked about is that I can't go out and replace Colin Bevins. I can't ask whoever's going to step into Colin Bevins' shoes to be Colin Bevins, because that's not realistic. But what I do ask is collectively as a defensive line, if Ben Spaeth and Caleb Mather and Bobby Grunlow can be better than they were a year ago, and they were three pretty big pieces for us, then that helps alleviate that pressure to be better than Colin Bevins. We now have an opportunity to possibly be better as a unit. The same thing at the linebacking core, the same thing in the back end. Jake Volstedt's gone, and you lose Kevin Berg, and they were two big cogs in our defense. But when I can put, Marcus Jones back out there with Anthony Lane and put Edward Richey at safety, that's a pretty good start. And so, we just try and refit the pieces and make the whole better than the parts. We never look at the parts. We look at who we are as a group collectively.
Coach, obviously you focused on the defense the past while. How are you kind of transitioning now into having a little bit more impact on the offense, and how are you trying to make that a smooth transition with obviously the coaches you have on that side of the ball?
You have to have a little bit of input as a head football coach, but my role is pretty minimal. The thing that I try and do is just lend a little bit of perspective and a little bit of insight from a defensive side of things. I know what's difficult to defend. I know what's tough and what causes us problems. So more than anything, I try and share a little bit of that, and then just being aware of kind of what their goals are and what they're trying to do, and so that just helps me kind of keep a perspective on things from a day-to-day standpoint.
All right, we'll finish up with this question for the players. Obviously, the basketball team was playing the day you guys won the national championship, but how fun was it for you guys to turn around and kind of watch them get to celebrate a national title too?
Oh, it was awesome. I drove up to Sioux Falls and watched the game myself, and it was great to see those guys' hard work pay off, because they're in there working their tails off just like us. You see them working out and putting in the extra time in the gym, and it was awesome to see them get to celebrate that national championship.
Yeah, just like Grove was saying, man, them dudes put in time every day just like we do. They go the extra mile to be as good as they are, and it was fun to see them and the entire community and the entire school celebrate their accomplishment that they work so hard for, that they just keep pushing and pushing to get to each year. It was great to see them finally accomplish it.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Players, you guys will